That wall is called the Abbey Wall. Basically, the Spanish took the Next stop is the old jail. The old jail has a tour. The sheriff will take you through there, or you may get one of the inmates to take you through there.
The sheriff's name is not Joe. The sheriff's name is Sir. And this is not the jail. This is our public humiliation center used for misdemeanor crimes like spitting on the sidewalk, cussing in front of women or children, or sassing the sheriff. This is also where the term jailbird comes from. The rope at the top will be tied to a branch of that tree, and this person will be hoisted 25 feet up in the air in any weather condition, given no food and no water. When nature starts calling, they won't let him down to answer. He'll have to do his business in front of anybody who cares to watch. It's gross. It's not really my cup of tea at all, but to each his own. Would you ever even look at this and guess that it was a jail? Doesn't it look more like a house? That's because it is a house. Our sheriff lives here with his wife and 2 kids. He's very devoted to his job. But unfortunately, those lacy curtains turn into bars, which is where we'll be staying. This is called an open-air jail. That means that there's no glass on any of our windows. There are only bars. So if it's raining on the outside, it's raining on the inside. And we will get a few visitors from time to time, rats, spiders, snakes, especially our state bird, the mosquito. During the colder months, go ahead and cuddle up because they'll keep you nice and warm and they'll be your only friends. We are also a hanging jail. Those are the gallows. Murder and horse theft are the crimes that will give you the death sentence, so don't do that. We won't have to worry about it.
There's the street. Yeah.
And then on your left side as you were walking towards me, those are the only 2 women's cells in the entire jail. Usually ladies are placed on house arrest and sent back home for their husbands to deal with. Goody. About half the beds in the jail have mattresses. They are stuffed with hay and Spanish moss. Although Spanish moss is home to the red bug and they do bite. Our toilets consist of buckets. Ladies, if you are lucky enough to get cell number 1, it has a window. So when the contents of your bucket begins to slosh over the side, just throw it right out the window through the bars. So be careful about the windy days. So all the prisoners share the same basin of water. Sharing is caring, right? The men bathe on the first day and the ladies bathe on the second day. And then, with good behavior, you can get closer to the front of that line. Isn't that exciting? Hopefully within the first 12. I find that after 12, it doesn't look a whole lot like water anymore, but it's always nice and warm by then. This is maximum security. Behind door number 1 is solitary confinement, where sheriff puts you for bad behavior. It is extremely dark in there because there are bricks covering the windows. The only time you'll see daylight is once a day when the outside door is open to hand you your 2 helpings of bread and water. Other than those few seconds, it will be pitch black. Behind door number 2 is the infirmary. You go there to get better or to get dead. Behind door number 3 is the cell you'd serve a life sentence. There's plenty of room for exercise so you can walk around in circles and jump up and down to your heart's content. And behind door number 4 is death row. It's got a nice view out the window, don't you think? That's my cellmate. You've got a big mouth. All right. All these soul catchers. Goodness. Ladies, you didn't think you'd be sleeping in, did you? While the men are working on the chain gang, the women in the jail are working in this kitchen. For breakfast, we all get 2 choices. You can have grits, or you can have no grits. Option's yours. For lunch, you'll have a nice hearty portion of beans, and for dinner, you'll have a nice hearty portion of beans. So be grateful this is an open-air jail, if you know what I'm saying. For the men working on the chain gang, you will not have beans for lunch. Beans make a mess in your pocket. So you'll take this with you instead. It's called hardtack, and it looks like a cookie, but it doesn't taste like one. The ingredients are flour, water, and salt, baked till hard. If you don't want to break your teeth, just drop it right into your coffee and come back to it later. By then it'll be nice and soggy. And all the weevils and their eggs will have floated to the top by then, so you can just brush those right off. Between the cast iron skillets and that, well, exercise is not a problem. What is that? It is a grinder for coffee. We get as much coffee as we want, no limits, because basically the more you drink, the longer you stay awake, the more work you get done. See how that works? We grind 300 to 400 cups a day. But because men and women are always separated, we will not be serving the men their coffee directly, so don't get excited, ladies. For the men in maximum security, where we just came from, there's a hole in the wall, appropriately named the bean hole. And for the men in the main cell block directly above us, there is the dumbwaiter. Can you do me a favor and open up that door? Stick the food on the shelf, pull the rope, and up it goes, and the guards up there are nice enough to send back down the dirty dishes. We wash those here in the dry sink. The pump is directly next to it, which is convenient, although water is limited, so use it wisely. If you're feeling ambitious, boil it first for a deeper clean, but not unless it's cold outside, because this is a wood stove, and it's hot enough in here without it. The average temperature year-round in this kitchen is 110 degrees, and if you pass out from the heat, people will be counting the minutes you're unconscious, and then adding that time onto your sentence once you wake up. The only meat that we consume is the roadkill that you men will drag out from the chain gang. Throw it over your shoulder and take it home to us. We will then skin it, chop it, and stick it into the beans for later on. Give this some thought for a second. You've had beans and grits every day for the past year. Wouldn't a big juicy possum be a nice surprise? Come on, you know it. But keep your hands to yourself. He's got a fingerprinting kit. He uses it. And the contrast is a bit shocking at first. Is this more like it or what? The sheriff reads it all first. So if you thought about making any escapes, that's fine. Think about it all you want. Just don't write it down. My name goes into these boxes. You say how your processing went today. Send them in. They've already been paid for by the post office, and I can get out of here before it's 1940. Isn't that exciting? My name is Iris, spelled I-R-I-S. If you didn't have a good time, you can call me Bob. Here's an original typewriter given to him by the county because his handwriting is pretty awful. Don't tell him I said that. Also original, one of the very first ever made fingerprinting kits, so he can tell exactly who's been touching what. And the guns in those cases are original as well. Those are confiscated weapons from crime scenes used by the prisoners who stayed here. The jail was built in 1891 and closed in 1953. Are you familiar with party line telephones? That's one phone line for everybody in St. Augustine. And nobody had separate rings. All the rings are the same. So every time your phone rings, you gotta pick it up and see if it's for you. If it is, then you talk, and if it's not, then you listen. Excuse me, Sheriff.
What a rough looking bunch. They give you any trouble?
No, sir.
Let's keep it. Be supper soon, we got a special treat. Deputy Davis shot a couple of possums. Makes the beans and greens extra good.
You're from the Kingston area? Oh, okay.
Best go get the fire ready now.
Yes, sir.
They look right hungry.
Bye, folks. Thank you. Thank you.
Name's Charles Joseph Perry. You will call me sir. You're in my jail now, so don't let the fancy outside fool you. I've been sheriff in this here county since 1889. 18 years.
I keep the guards busy doing that.
If any of you jack-leg varmints are mind trying to bust out of here, get it right out of your cornball heads. Just take a gander at that cell lockdown system right next to you. Finest in the county. But let's just say you make it outside these walls. If my boys don't part your hair with the first shot from the tower, we'll turn the dogs loose to find you. Never forget that I live here with my wife Lou and 2 youngins. If any of y'all show disrespect to my family, you will answer to me. There'll be no fighting, cussing, or spitting, and no backsassing about the food, or you'll go hungry. We have a triple hanging this week, and as is our custom, y'all be made to walk. It is your warning to never commit a hanging crime. Now we can do this the easy way or the hard way. Y'all decide. Move along, y'all. Move along. I'm moving inside the cells.